All right, guys, happy weekend. We're back. And Connor, thanks for joining us again.
Thank you, Scotty. How was your trading week?
Look, it's been all right. I'm in a Euro Aussie short, and that's it. And it sort of fell a little bit nicely, but we're sort of creeping back to approaching the stop, which is a break even. But mixed bag this week. I didn't really.
So
do
did
too
you
much.
get in? Did you get in on the 4-hourly?
I did. So actually, let's bring up the daily. When did I? No, it was a 4 hour. So it was a 4 hour. It wasn't really like a textbook sort of great entry. It was more just a trend continuation thing. So it was breaking down, and I got in on my entry was 1.57295. So it'd been going sideways for a while on the 4 hour, and it just started turning again. Like the candle wasn't fantastic, but it was sort of like a trend continuation trade. And because if you go to the daily, you can sort of see it's been trending.
Yeah, it's very steep.
Yeah, and because it is. So we'll see. I mean, where it closed on the daily, it's a little bullish with that candle there on the daily chart. But again, the stops at break even because I had a smaller stop loss, so I could move it when it moved a little bit on Wednesday night and then Thursday, and then Friday's session. It sort of just went sideways for a little while, and it's not really done too much. It's sort of the Aussie dollar was pretty strong earlier in the week against the US dollar, and the pound Aussie as well sort of moved a bit, but it wasn't good enough for me to sort of get in. And it's interesting, but nothing spectacular like we were talking about before earlier. It's just
So have you got resistance on the Euro Aussie at about 1.5603 roughly?
Yeah. I'll zoom out and you can even. So when we're talking about resistance, guys, you can see previously it has. So to me, it looks. Yeah, look at the daily chart. It really has sort of.
So you could maybe expect a bit of a retracement around there.
Yeah. So it's
perhaps.
Yeah, it wasn't a fantastic trade. It was a little sort of like, okay, I'm going to try and capture a little bit here, and because I traded it previously earlier in the month as well, and it worked out not too bad. But I got out at break even again. There was a bit of a wiki candle on the daily chart. It was on the 7th of November, and then I sort of got in again after that closed because it looked good again. So it's been a little frustrating with this one, but it's nothing. As we talk, guys, off air, Connor and I, we were searching the charts. We're not seeing really anything great. So
what's your take on the Aussie USD?
Yeah, let's bring that up. All right. It's I like we were talking about. It's on the weekly. I'll bring that up, and that's an interesting candle. How it sort of closed there. So it's quite wiki as well, but I've got it closing just above the trend line on the weekly time frame. So it's what I would say to guys who are watching this is a potential short. Obviously, the downtrend is very much still intact, as you can see there. You might want to see what happens Monday, and then later on in the Monday night session when US is trading, if it can come down and close below the trend line, you could potentially have a case to short this. But it's interesting how it just sort of moved like it did, and it really did push pretty high, and it's closed above the trend line. So what would you like to see here to sort of trigger a potential sell trade for yourself, Connor?
Yeah, well, in earlier episodes, I said that I think it may get back up to this sort of 0.729 area. However, I didn't think it was going to get up there that quickly. I thought you might really get it. That it could take months, not weeks, not a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So look, it's actually looking. If you look at the, it's actually looking pretty good for anything for a short on the Weekly, it was almost a kangaroo tail.
Yeah.
You know, it was very, very much a pin bar. On the daily, if you look to it, it looks like there might even be a double top if you look at the way that they've touched that resistance level twice. And then if you look on the 4 hourly, it's starting to show some bearish momentum downwards. So there could even be a double top there again. Not that I particularly trade those, but if there was anything showing that a decisive candle that would prick up through that resistance area and then come back down, I'd be interested in looking at it. I mean, I've talked about it. I'm pretty bearish on the Aussie dollar at the moment.
Oh, definitely.
Just because, you know, like I've talked about, our housing market has been going down due to its overly inflated prices. And we, as a country, joined by the hip with China, and China looks like, you know, with the trade wars and different situations, their real estate predicament that they're in a bubble, so they're not looking overly great, no matter what people sort of say, what other people say. So I'm sort of bearish on the Aussie.
That's right. It's, and like we said, guys, before, where it's at currently, potential, but I mean, to short this now would be a little aggressive. Still, you know, hasn't really proven itself to be coming back down right now. But, you know, the daily and the 4 hour do paint a pretty promising picture. So this is probably the one to watch. Everything else, you know, the euro, the pound, whatnot, it's just sort of, the pound especially is very wild because there's just all this Brexit news. There's been no agreements made yet. There's all this talk about stuff, and then it moves the price this way, that way, the other way. It's like, oh my God. It's sort of, the technicals get a bit sort of muddled up at times, and you sort of end up getting whipsawed and can be frustrating. So, one to watch. And the euro, it's still just, oh man. Everything's died down a little bit with Italy and all that sort of stuff. And I know they've got to come up with a new, you know, budget because the EU weren't satisfied with their original one, and they're just sort of, it's like the circus keeps rolling on. So we'll see what happens there. But I've just got the euro up just for giggles here. It's, what about the oh no, it's loading. Sorry, it was still loading. It looked like a really nice kangaroo tail on the 4 hour, but it hadn't fully loaded, and I missed like the next 6 candles. And I'm like, oh no, that's not really.
Yeah, I mean, on the if you look at the euro on the monthly, the daily, it's looking pretty bearish. It looks like I've got resistance at 1.128. And if you can pop through that, if you pop through that, you could really look at it at some downwards momentum, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. So
have a look around that sort of area. Keep an eye out for that. Other than that, Scotty, not a lot is interesting me at the moment. It's tickling my fancies. So I'm just going to wait and hold.
Yeah, and that's right, guys. Don't be sort of too frustrated at that. If you sort of, a lot of the professional traders who do, you know, swing and swing trade high time frames don't really get too fussy when it comes to just not being in trades all the time. So just be aware of that. You don't have to sort of be in trades all the time and be frustrated, because obviously if you get into a bad trade, it will just be, you know, stubborn. It will just do stuff you don't want it to do, and then you'll end up taking more trades on it, and it can get very unpleasant, really. So I guess that's the FX stuff. I've got the Dow Jones chart up here as well. I guess we can go for a couple more minutes or so. Now, I've got the 5-year chart. So all this, there was quite a lot of hype in regards to we're going to have a correction. Well, not a correction. We're going to have like a crisis. But if I've got the 5-year chart, guys, you just have a look at that. Obviously, it wasn't actually really that significant. It had a dip, and then it's sort of back to normal again. So I guess that's not great, though, because that would have driven some volatility if it really had started rolling over. So we might just see things back to normal.
Yeah, look, it could be a chink in the armor.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yep.
But for now, it hasn't really hit anything that would alarm anyone, and it could keep going up for, I don't know, Who knows?
That's right.
If I had a crystal ball, I'd tell you.
Yeah. I see some of those on LinkedIn. Those guys who really know they know what's going on. But be wary of that, guys. If you see anyone, knowing exactly what's going to happen, that's typically, that's not going to help anyone. It's just going to cause frustration. So, but yeah, I think we might have to wrap it up a bit
That's
early.
it.
Yeah. So
Hit the nail on the head.
Indeed.
Until next week, yeah. That's it. That's all I've got to say.
Yep. So guys, again, thanks for watching, and feel free to leave a comment or whatever. Every point of contact's in the description section as well. So if you want us to discuss something in the future, let us know. But again, thanks for joining us, Connor, as well. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
All right. See you guys, and enjoy the weekend.